Hello again. Thank you, viewer, who asked me to look at this piece of footage. Well, what to say? You all think this is just one continuous piece, but actually it's cut, cut, cut. These flashes appear, and then, I'm sorry, their eyes don't look right. And something else nobody's noticing either. Look behind, top right hand side, tiles, like a kitchen, like the edge of the kitchen. That's really crazy because they're in the living room, aren't they? Anyway, you can see the tiles there. And then, a little bit later on, no tiles at all behind the chair. And then, as they were panning around, because I don't know who they are now, do I? Panning around, look at that, it's like a blackboard or a board. Like a blackboard, like a whiteboard rather, sorry, a whiteboard in a classroom. Yep, that's what's there on the wall. No tiles, just a board. You don't know what you're looking at. When would a child have a V eyebrow? But anyway, that eyebrow comes in every now and again. But Bella's right eye is different to the left eye. Shanann's right eye is different to her left eye. It's, yeah. Everybody can see that, can't they? I mean, you very precisely see the end of their nose, but when they're whizzing around, it all magnifies in that. And then suddenly, that person's there. I'm sorry, does that look like Shanann? Well, does it? If I showed you that, would you have said, yeah, that's Shanann? And then as they're panning, it happens when they're panning. That person under there looks like they've got a crook nose. Remember I keep talking about the crook nose? There's an even more disturbing bit coming up in a minute. Anyway, my point of this bit, I did put a slight filter on it, is to show that actually that left eye to us actually is very blue, really. And then they turn up with makeup on and, you know, eyelashes and without eyelashes. And then, you know, I can see it. Someone else there. Does this look like Shanann? Does that look like Shanann? Does it? I'm sorry, when you slow footage down, we don't dramatically change to these kind of things, and this is the most disturbing bit. As it panned, that is a child. Looks like a little girl. That is a child in there. In this stuff is children. There's children in there. That looks like a little girl, doesn't it? Could be a little boy, but that's a child. Suddenly, as you're panning, they turn into that. So this is it morphing back into, well, that's got that person in it and the child, I reckon. Does that look like Shanann? Does that look like Shanann? There's something about the eyes, like one of the eyes seems to be back to front and you can kind of see it there with Bella's eyes. But that is who I think is partly underneath them, someone different. This other person is there. Anyway, just look at the colours of those eyes. Does this look like Shanann? And anybody in photography will know that that has been, you know, Bella's been cut in. Look at the shape of Bella's eyes. Look at the size of them. The same is happening with Shanann. One big eye, one small eye. It's all so blurry. And I mean, these sort of Dr. Spock eyebrows turn up on Bella. You don't see this at normal speed, and that shadow of Shanann on them is very weird. But anyway, the whole thing's weird. And that's the child that's underneath. Looks like a little boy to me. Of course, it's always morphing around. Like Shanann, morphing. One of those eyes is looking right at you on Shanann, and one of them isn't. One of them's in the corner of her eye, her pupils. Well, I don't know if I can do that. All this wobbling and magnifying that goes on. And then I noticed this bit, which I will play again. There. Just in one frame, Bella flicks. Flick. Flick. And you just don't see this at normal speed, these flicks. And then this. Do you see this? Oh, they flipped the camera over. So that means they know what they're doing. They know that they want it back to front. They know. They know what they're doing. Because now we're back to front. But do you see all those flicks? No one's noticing all the cuts. Cut, cut here, flash, flash, cut, cut. And, well, do you see Shanann? It's horrible to use children this way. And even if they're not real, you know, they're more created for this, it's still got children in it. And that's how they feel about children. Mess around with children. Use them. Because they're using one in her. And this bit's really weird. I mean, look at their kitchen. Isn't it? But again, it's the wrong way round. The kitchen's the wrong way round. But I mean, isn't the kitchen... Oh, this is strange as well. It's got a wall behind it. So what's the big bright light? So as he moves around here, his arm comes in really strange and so forth. There's things you can see by slowing it down. That hand is really weird. So weird. And just look at that bright light in the kitchen. It's not the window. Something bugged me a bit when they were zooming round, and I said, didn't I, that the room was very bright. That is because in there, right, is a person moving around. Can you see their face? Can you see them? There should be an arrow where their face is, but that is another person moving around in the background. Literally, it's a pan. But that is someone else. You can actually see their face, roughly see their face. There's other things going on there, but I'm not sure what it all is, because basically it's flick, you know, that's what I've slowed down, it's a flick. Yeah, there's something happening there with that, and then, can you see what that person's doing? They've got something in their hand, can you see it? And they're flicking it, and things are, different lights are on it. So, everybody is not very awake, are they? So it's all a bit You can definitely see one person, but there are more people there. Or more faces. Or one or two people on the edge here, I'm just not sure, but yeah. So it didn't look like the kitchen. And I was thinking, is that a fireplace? Because don't forget, the house is the wrong way round. And even when you come across here, come on, right? They're archways, but it turns into square top rather than a round top arch. So that's all a bit strange. See, the room has changed to a square. So you don't even know what you're looking at. None of you do. Everybody being still nasty and saying stupid things to me, when all I'm doing is trying to show you what they're doing to you. So, definitely one person. That orangey light, whatever it is, yellowy orangey light. Definitely there. See, now it's not tall, is it? Now it's like a little figure off that light. It's just, so you don't even know what you're looking at in one flick. Anyway, you can see that is a person there. There is a person. There's a person. That is a person. Oh, dearie me. A person. Another person. At least one person there in the background, moving around. I decided to make it a little bit bigger by going to Movie Maker and just putting like a filter on it, just a different colour to try and hopefully that you see that this person is there. What I see is a person moving the arm that's closest to us. They move it up to this remote, but they're also using their other arm as well to click, click, click on the remote. There you go, you saw their thumb go click, clock, click, clock. So, they're moving their right arm and they're moving their left arm going click, 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 click on that thing. And the whole thing is like a face anyway. And when you look at it, it's got, oh anyway, there's their thumb up. And there are other faces that just appear. Anyway, click, 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 whatever that is. Hologramming. Green screening. Didn't tell you there was someone else in the house in the background doing something, did they? No. Another adult going, touch, click, click, press, press, click, click, press, press. So difficult to get this. Basically, you saw it whoosh round. That's it. That one whoosh, and I'm slowing the whole thing down and going through it. But for all those people that say I'm stupid, none of you noticed there was anybody else in the room, did you? No, none of you knew someone else was there with the remote control going click, 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 whatever they were doing. Nobody noticed that one, did they? Nobody noticed what they were doing in the background, did they? Anyway, probably going to get some nasty comments again. But anyway, people leave their comments below. Do you see someone there clicking away on a remote control? You can see their face. I'm not saying you can make everything out on their face, but you can see that's a face. Anyway, you know it is because you saw their arm moving. Such trickery. So there's nothing wrong with me. It's you people. You need to wake up. Anyway, thanks for watching. What does it feel like knowing that they're not telling the truth and that other things are going on in the background?